Hello and welcome to Belinda's Book Nook. We're back here. I mean, we're not in a car. That's usually where we are because I can't seem to squeeze time to talk about books with you guys. I'm excited to tell you some news. I was finally able to get to the Boston Book Festival. I've been wanting to go to this for years, and for whatever reason, I can never do it, scheduling and time and all that. So this year I was able to go and I attended one of the 2 days. And so what I'm going to do is a two-part video with half of the books and then the other half of the books because I tend to babble and I'm going to try to time myself to make sure that I don't kind of go over the time that we need to kind of create this video. So the first panel that I went to was a YA group. I think it was YA and romance. And don't hate. Now I know I'm not a young adult. But I was really pleased. They also talked about, in one of the topics, of the stigma of reading YA when you're not a young adult. And, you know, they gave really great examples of books from the past, like Jane Austen, which I've never read, but I know that a lot of people have. And they said that those books are young adult and that this new classification has kind of prevented a lot of people from pursuing the books because of that. Now, that said, there are some books that are young adult that I just can't. I'm way beyond that time. And so some of those things I can't. But just like any other genre, there's all different types of books. So I always keep my eyes peeled for anything, any story that's appealing to me. That said, I have 4 here of authors that I got a chance to meet. I combed through and tried to find some Black women or men that were going to be presenting, that I was familiar with some of their work and some are new to me. The first one is Brandy Kolbert, who is more of a seasoned. We'll kind of go from people that are published to new release people. This their debut novels. So these first 2 are have been publishing for some years now. So Brandy Kolbert, you might be familiar with her book called Little and Lion and Finding Yvonne. And I think she has 4 or 5 books out right now, total. And this is her newest, The Revolution of Bertie Randolph, which, look at the fantastic cover. One of the things they did talk about, like, look at the Black women on these, like all of these covers, that, being able to get the cover to match the story to celebrate, Black faces. And so that was kind of great because it is hard. You always trying to find something that looks like you. So I'm excited when I see books that have people of color on them. But anyway, I'm going to read this to you because it's new to me, and I'm not going to do it justice. It says, Dove Bertie Randolph works hard to be the perfect daughter and follow the path her parents have laid out for her. She quit playing her beloved soccer, and she keeps her nose buried in textbooks. And she's on track to finish high school at the top of her class. But when Bertie falls hard for Booker, a sweet boy with a troubled past, whom she knows her parents will never approve of, when her estranged Aunt Carlene returns to Chicago and moves into the family's apartment above their hair salon, Bertie notices the tension building at home. Carlene is sweet, friendly, and open-minded, and she's also spent decades in and out of a treatment facility for addiction. As Bertie becomes closer to both Booker and Carlene, she yearns to spread her wings, but when long-buried secrets rise to the surface, everything she knows to be the truth is turned upside down. So this one just sounds so good. It sounds very interesting. And I think, talking about the treatment facility, I think she's going to touch on things with regards to that. So there sounds like some good depth to it. She was very eloquent when she spoke, and I was so excited when I got to go meet her. And the funny thing is, I give you a little Post-it with your name on it, and they ask you, how do you spell your name, where you're standing in line, and then they stick it in the book on the page so that the author can just open it and write what you want them to write, or write in it for you. I was doing 4 of them, so she spelled my name 4 times, and put them in each book. I didn't look at them because I spelled it. Lo and behold, I get to Brandy Kolbert, and she's written for Belinda, so B-A instead of B-E. And I'm like, so I'm mortified. So I look at the post-it, and here it is, Belinda, right on it. She was so upset. She felt so bad. She was like, oh, let me fix it. So she wrote the E over the A and then wrote a little heart near it. And I was like, it's okay. That's even more special. There's a heart there. So I'm looking forward to reading this one because I think it's going to be a very interesting story. And the next one is from Morgan Parker. And some of you might be familiar with her. She is a poet, and she's got a lot of accolades there. And in her book, this book here, which is called Who Put This Song On, it's also blurbed by Elizabeth Acevedo from Poet-X. So she's got some good plugs for this. But this is her first fiction novel. She's done poetry prior to that, and you would know maybe some of them if you read poetry collections. She has one called Magical Negro, and she has one called There Are More Beautiful Things Than Beyonce, and one that says Other People's Comforts Keep Me Up at Night. Which I have not read any of them, but I'm going to have to check them out. I think it's going to be great. What I liked about this is she talked about mental illness and wellness and depression in this story, and intertwines it with this character who just feels like, she's basically in a suburbia town, I believe, and, she's, at least the only non-white person in the room, and always feeling off and out of place, and trying to figure out how to maneuver in her skin in those environments. So I think this is going to be great. And she said that, she based a lot of this on even her own experience, trying to work with her own health and wellness. So I think it's going to be a book that's great for young people that might feel this way, and for older people that read the book. So looking forward to it. The next one is a debut novel, and you've probably all heard of it, and it's Brittany Morris. And look at this funky cover. It's so awesome. It's called Slay. And I'm going to read the inside of it, just in case you didn't. By 17-year-old Kira Johnson is an honor student, a math tutor, and one of the only black kids at Jefferson Academy. But at home, she joins hundreds of thousands of black gamers who duel worldwide as Nubian personas in the secret multiplayer online role-playing card game, Slay. No one knows Kira is the game developer, not her friends, not her family, not even her boyfriend, Malcolm, who believes video games are distractions to keep the black man from becoming great. But when a teen in Kansas City is murdered over a dispute in the Slay world, news of the game reaches mainstream media, and Slay is labeled a racist, exclusionist, violent hub of thugs and criminals. Even worse, Kira faces potentially being sued for anti-white discrimination, and an anonymous troll infiltrates the game, threatening to harass all the players and take over. And it goes on. This is how things going to have a lot of stuff in it. This author also based a lot of, or was inspired by her own experience of living in a town where she was the only black student in her high school. Sorry, I went outside the other day and I didn't take any allergy medicine. And feeling like she had to represent the whole black community and didn't like it and felt uncomfortable. And the first time she saw Black Panther, it just kind of rocked her world and just really inspired her. And that was probably both of those things, kind of come together to inspire her to write this book. It just sounds phenomenal. I can't wait to read that one. This last author is Christina Forest, and I love the cover on this one too. Is I Want to Be Where You Are, and this one is just this is a rom-com. Okay, it is about a girl, and look at it in the back. Look at that. And that beautiful art that they have on it. Can you see it? Can you see the cover? And here's the author too. I didn't show you the pictures of the authors, did I? Do I have enough time to show you guys? Yeah, this is the author of this book. And I got her to sign it as well. And she gave me this little card of the characters, the main characters. But anyways, it's about this girl, Chloe and Eli. And Chloe wants to be a dancer. And she's going to drive. She's finally decided, I'm just going to do it. She's going to drive to this audition. Well, her neighbor, his name was Eli. Eli and his dog hitch a ride with them. And it's one of those things where they find each other annoying, but then, you know, things must turn and there must be some level of romance that kind of goes in there. This author said she based this loosely on her own experience as she was a dancer before becoming a writer. She never went professional, but she did do, you know, dancing as a young person. And she did want to pursue it, but didn't. So she said this kind of is one way to kind of like live out that through a character as well. And she based it on her interactions and the way that she interacts with her in her personal romantic relationships. And she was a delight to hear talk. And it was neat because this is like her third week on the road promoting the book. So she's fresh and new. But definitely has a lot to offer, and you know, coming in, she's got a blurb from Nick Stone on the front. This is a brilliant burst of light, a dazzling debut. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. So I'm going to come back to you guys with the other books, but do check them out. Let me give you the pictures. Did I get a chance to show you the pictures? This one is Brittany Morris, and this one is Morgan Parker, and this one is Brandy Kolbert. I had a blast. I'm definitely going to go next year and make it a point, but it's really neat. So I'm looking forward to it. I have some books I still need to read on my Goodreads challenge. I've kind of fallen off. I've just recently updated like the last 3 months of my reading, and I still have books to read to reach my goals. So I am going to try to insert these in there. I think they'll be fast. For slow readers, these are the good kind of books to read. So I can knock out some books for that. But I hope you all are doing well, and I'm going to apologize for this, and I'm going to do part 2. So stay tuned for that. Happy reading, guys. Bye.